What's good in the interweb subscribers, and welcome back to Drama with Ted and Tina. Tina, will be your host narrator for this short drama journey about a soon-to-be grandmother who makes a bold move that crosses the line, leading to tension, tough conversations, and a major shift in control. Boundaries are drawn, emotions run high, and a couple decides enough is enough. Protecting their peace becomes the priority. Let's get into it. Well, I knew it was coming. My mother-in-law, the human embodiment of a group chat that never ends, asked my partner if they could throw a baby shower without me, at her house, no less. Because clearly, I'm not essential to this baby celebration, just the inconvenient life support system for the guest of honor. She basically tried to RSVP to an event I'm physically attached to while cutting me out of the invite list. The logic? Unknown. The audacity? Through the roof. Though apparently, once she saw the baby registry, she thought this was her moment to shine. She pitched it to my partner like it was totally normal. He thankfully was not possessed by the ghost of spineless decisions and told her there would be no event where I wasn't present. She wasn't thrilled. You could practically hear the gasp from her Victorian fainting couch. And because we love stress, we decided to call her and talk it out. Bold choice. We figured maybe, just maybe, she'd understand a reasonable boundary. Spoiler alert, she did not. We mapped out what he'd say like we were planning a hostage negotiation. My partner kept it calm, respectful, and firm. He explained how hurtful it was to plan something so personal without me, and how this kind of behavior would never be the path to a better relationship. He said, moving forward, we'd make decisions as a couple and inform her after, not ask, not debate, not leave it open-ended. Just a simple, this is what's happening. She didn't like that. She interrupted, got weepy, and immediately started her one-woman performance of I'm the real victim here. Tears were falling. The drama was rising. She said, I've been controlling him for 10 years, like I've got him under some kind of Harry Potter love spell. Then she threatened not to host anything else for us ever again, like that's a punishment and not a relief. I swear she thinks withholding parties is equivalent to cutting off oxygen. Not once did she acknowledge how I felt, which honestly wasn't shocking. She's never been one to let facts or basic human decency interrupt a good pity party. My partner didn't flinch. He stood by me and our future family like a champ. I was so proud. He could have buckled, especially with the emotional floodgates open, but he stayed firm. After that 3-minute phone call of doom, she unleashed a full barrage of texts, FaceTime attempts, and more text. She was spiraling like a malfunctioning Roomba stuck in the corner. She kept trying to make it about her feelings, her sadness, her disappointment. Not 1 ounce of accountability, just emotional fireworks with her as the sad, sparkly center. But we didn't respond. We agreed we'd wait until Tuesday, after we had a meeting with our pastor, because after that call, we needed a full reset, a cleansing, and maybe a holy intervention to keep us from losing our minds completely. Now, I'm taking back control. I booked a baby moon. Just a chill little getaway a month before I'm due. Only his cousins and siblings are invited, the ones who don't treat my pregnancy like a competitive sport. His cousin is also pregnant, which explains why his mother was so desperate to throw the shower early. She wanted to beat the other grandma to the party punch. Well, too late. We're staying at a hotel and enjoying life without a single passive-aggressive casserole in sight. We're inviting the older generation, including her, to a dinner later. Neutral territory, public space, plenty of witnesses, no outbursts, no attempts to hijack the baby bump like it's a prop. Just smiles, nods, and an early escape route if needed. After the baby comes, we'll do a sip and see party and baptism combo. 2 to 3 months later, that's when she'll meet the baby. Not sooner, not at the hospital. And only if she plays by the rules. At that party, I'll be holding the baby. There will be no, can I just hold them real quick? Nope. I'll be wearing that baby like a bodyguard wears sunglasses. No kisses, no dramatic speeches, no sneaky attempts to corner me in a guest bathroom for a chat. She gets access only if she respects the boundaries. She doesn't follow the rules. She doesn't get invited. It's that simple. She's not welcome at my house, and I'm not going to hers. We're drawing a clear line, not out of pettiness, but peace. It's been a full week of ignored calls and texts, and she's still trying to contact my partner like it's a life or death emergency. But we told her, we'll talk when we're ready. And we meant it. Because for once, this circus isn't being run by the ringleader of guilt trips. It's being run by 2 exhausted parents-to-be who are finally done entertaining clowns. There it is. Short and sweet. This next story is about a woman who uproots her life for love, only to be met with stares, secrecy, and a partner who grows more distant by the day. As small-town pressure mounts and public affection vanishes, a painful truth begins to surface. Behind polite smiles and sudden gym trips, something deeper unravels, and the mask of support slips. Let's get into it. 3 weeks ago, I uprooted my life to support my fiance's new job, shaved his beard, lined him up, prepped his office wardrobe, and sent him off like a freshly waxed resume with legs. I left behind friends, family, and comfort zones because we believed this was our shot. The job paid well, the town, not so much. Small, white, and staring like I'm a glitch in their algorithm. I've never felt more on display. Like, do they not get TV reception out here? Have they never seen a Black Caribbean woman before? I should be charging admission. We agreed I'd handle drop offs, pickups, errands. What I didn't expect was turning into a one woman exhibit at every red light, people breaking their necks, wandering off porches just to gawk into my car. I'm not being sensitive, I'm being watched. And yet, my fiance, whose coworkers are apparently the cast of Whiteout, keeps wanting to separate in public spaces. Grocery store, separate. Antique shop, separate. Winners, vanished mid convo like a magician with commitment issues. But when we visit his friends, suddenly he's clingy again, touching me like a man who's proud. Weird, right? I brought it up gently, told him it feels like he's hiding me. He said he was worried about being lingus. Funny because he wasn't worried about that when he had his hand on my thigh in front of old friends. But in this town, I turn invisible real fast, or worse, inconvenient. I feel like a secret in plain sight. The optics don't lie, even if he does. Then came the apology tour, after I told him my son and I would leave so he wouldn't have to feel embarrassed. He came home, said he could see how I felt that way, but it wasn't true. Promised a weekend just for us, flowers, wine, the whole rom-com act, and for a second I wanted to believe him. But something about it felt rehearsed, like a man trying to buy time before the lie caves in on him. And then, boom, he started a fight over nothing. Right before the gym session, he scheduled for exactly 6 p.m., dinner time, stormed out in his favorite shirt, nice shoes, date night watch, not the gym outfit, the affair outfit. Claimed he just needed to calm down, said he was going to the gym. I texted him about how weird it was that he dressed like he was auditioning for The Bachelor. He's back, talking normal, said he was just going to hit the pub nearby. Suddenly full of love and compliments again. And now the puzzle pieces are turning into a picture I didn't want to see. He used to eat dinner with me on weekends. Full plates, full stomach. But on weekdays, he'd lose his appetite. Or say he wasn't hungry. Wake up time moved from 8 a.m. to 5 a.m., out the door early, back late. And when I mentioned visiting his workplace after weeks of hype, he suddenly changed course. Maybe wait until I'm more set up, he said, like I was a company audit, not his partner. So now I'm asking the question I never thought I'd have to ask 3 weeks into this move. Can someone cheat that fast? Can they line up another woman that quickly while still warming your bed, eating your food, and pretending your race isn't a problem when clearly it is? Because I'm not a theory anymore. I'm an inconvenience he keeps dodging in public. A woman he's proud of in private, but maybe just a little too black for his LinkedIn circle. You wanted a woman who'd build with you, and I did. I lined your beard, polished your image, packed up my life, and moved 2 hours from everyone who's ever loved me. I played coach, cheerleader, co-parent, and consultant, while you played scared little boy in a town full of maze. You let me become a stranger in my own skin, watched me get stared down like I was a threat or a novelty and said nothing. Then worse, you disappeared. Split aisles in grocery stores, slipped out of antique shops like I was something you didn't want on your receipt. You weren't protecting me, you were hiding me. But the real kicker? You didn't just fold under pressure. You folded into someone else. Very scheduled arguments to line up with secret exits. Dressed for gyms like they served cocktails and intentions. Thought you could gaslight me with roses, wine, and half-assed apologies. Forgot I see patterns better than you hide them. So here it is. I'm not your secret. I'm not your shame. And I damn sure won't be your placeholder while you figure out whether your coworkers can handle your fiance being black. If they can't, that's their problem. If you can't, that's yours. But either way, I'm done being yours. Keep the shoes, keep the shirt, keep your little 5 a.m. fairy tale. You don't get to cry over a woman you refuse to stand beside. You lost me the moment I realized I deserved to be seen. And baby, now I see everything. Get out while you can, girl. This next story is about when a husband confesses to an affair, his wife braces for heartbreak. What she doesn't expect is for that betrayal to evolve into something far darker. As guilt morphs into control and apologies blur into fear, a woman is forced to question everything she thought she knew about safety, love, and survival. Let's get into it. 4 days ago, my husband sat me down, eyes puffy, guilt dripping from every syllable, and admitted he'd been playing house with a neighbor for over a month. It started with high on morning runs, like a low budget rom com. Then somehow they graduated from casual cardio to mattress marathons. He claimed he confessed out of guilt. Sweet, right? Nothing screams integrity like a man who only admits adultery because his conscience got constipated. I wasn't shocked. The man had been distant for weeks, cold, short, and suddenly about as interested in sleeping with me as he was in flossing. We were trying for a baby. Keyword, were. Instead of pregnancy tests, I got lab work for STDs and a front row seat to betrayal. He cried, he begged. He said he didn't love her, just got caught up, said it was lust, not love. Oh, well then. Guess I'll go ahead and stitch my heart back together with that revelation. She wanted him to leave me. 3 kids of her own and still found time to audition as the villain in my life story. He wouldn't leave me, though. Small mercy. We've been married 5 years and have a 3-year-old son who thinks the world of him. I asked him to leave. He's in a hotel now trying to visit our son every night, still clinging to the wreckage like there's a lifeboat. But me? I'm just here. Broken, numb, floating somewhere between heartbreak and survival instinct. Halloween. The night when everyone dresses up as someone else. How poetic. After trick-or-treating with our son, my husband asked to talk. I was exhausted, emotionally starved, and wine wasn't helping. Next thing I know, I'm out of the shower and he's tucking in our child like he's still father of the year. Then he's on me, apologizing, kissing, pleading, and then sex. Unwanted, uninvited, but relentless. I said no. I wasn't in the mood. I wasn't okay. But he was already halfway through his apology tour, trying to earn forgiveness with his body like that was currency. I lay there in shock, the room spinning. He didn't use protection. Didn't ask. Didn't pull out. Just did it. When I asked what the hell he was doing, he held me tighter and whispered more apologies like they were magic spells. He's never been that way, never crossed lines. But now, he's unraveling, and I don't know whether to call a therapist or an exorcist. He cried afterward, said he'd ruined his life, that he was failing at work, failing as a father, failing at everything. I believe he's sorry. But I don't know if that matters anymore. I can't unsee what he did. I can't unfeel the disgust. I'm staring down the barrel of maybe being pregnant by a man I no longer recognize, a man who once made me feel safe and now makes me feel like a hostage in my own home. And somehow, he still thinks flowers fix this? This morning, I told her husband everything. Surprise, he already knew. Turns out my husband, in a rare moment of honor among cheaters, confessed to him the same day he confessed to me. He'd been trying to end it, but she clung to him like a parasite with no exit strategy. Then she started blowing up the hospital landline looking for Doctor, please ruin my life. She was so disruptive, hospital leadership dragged him into the director's office. Her husband kicked her out. She fled to her sister's place out of state, and he kept the kids. The hallmark ending, minus the heartwarming. He was kind, said he respected my husband for telling him. Imagine that. Getting kudos for blowing up 2 families. I apologized for the wreckage his wife helped create. He said my husband was a complete disaster, crying, pleading, telling him he was about to lose his whole life. Apparently, this wasn't her first rodeo. She'd cheated before with a high school flame she scraped off Facebook, because why not repeat a greatest hit? I didn't tell him about what my husband did to me the other night. Not then. Honestly, I didn't even know it counted as assault until Reddit informed me that yes, even your husband can cross that line. I spoke to a lawyer. He said spousal rape is real but hard to prove, and apparently my husband still has a legal right to our home, which means he can and did waltz in tonight like nothing's changed. He said he realized he'd hurt me during sex. Realized? Oh, good. Just in time. I was letting him have time with our son, trying to be civil. I was in the kitchen, eating leftover sadness, when he cornered me. Respectful? Sure. Calm? Yes. But cornered is still cornered. I told him I didn't want to do this. He asked me to just hear him out. And suddenly, I was mourning my best friend while standing 5 feet away from the man who broke her. He apologized again for being aggressive, for not thinking about how I felt. Said he just wanted to make love and thought I'd see how deep his love was. Spoiler, Not that deep. He said once he started, he couldn't stop. Oh, how romantic. Nothing makes a girl's skin crawl like post hoc explanations for ignoring consent. He says he's losing his mind and now he's on a mental health leave from work. Fantastic. A jobless, mentally unraveling man with a house key and a shattered conscience. I asked my lawyer about changing the locks. My husband made me feel unsafe tonight, even if he didn't lay a finger on me. He promised he'd bathe our son, tuck him in, and stay on the other side of the house. That was a lie. He came back into the kitchen, tugged me, refused to let go. He didn't hurt me, but he whispered over and over again, "Please don't leave me. I'll do anything. I love you." I just stood there frozen, trying not to shatter into glass. I didn't give in. And I don't think I ever will. The man I married is gone. What's left is someone clinging to a memory, dragging me down with it. People are telling me to leave. Others say he's remorseful. Maybe he is, but I'm not a priest, and repentance doesn't undo damage. His choices broke 2 homes, scattered the lives of 4 children, and cracked something in me I'm not sure can be repaired. Whiskey prevents me from seeing the real world run misdirections that other women put on for their sons. Because what if I'm next? Professional power hockey, I think. It didn't feel sweet. It felt final, like he's drawing a line in the sand. I didn't ask for. It's never been cruel to me, but I've seen his temper. In college, he beat a man so badly he needed stitches. That's the part that chills me, because what if I'm next? He's tall, strong. I'm 5'7", 125. That difference never mattered. Until now. I used to feel safe in his arms. Now I double check the doors. He's always been protective, always said he couldn't live without me, was romantic when things were good. But now, it sounds like foreshadowing. I haven't used the word divorce, but it's coming. Enough, and I'm scared of what happens when I say it out loud. He's always taken care of everything. I have a degree in medical science, but I barely worked in the field. He's the one bringing home the income. I manage it, yes, but if he changes, really changes, it could all shift. I've seen what desperation turns men into. I've read the stories. He was such a good man. We never saw it coming. I used to laugh at those quotes. Now I repeat them in my head like prayers. I'm not saying he's a monster. I'm saying I never thought I'd be here asking myself, what if love really does turn deadly? I used to think the worst thing that could happen in a marriage was infidelity. Turns out it's not. It's realizing the person you trusted with your life doesn't know where your boundaries end and their desperation begins. It's standing across from someone who says they'd never hurt you while you're slowly unraveling in their arms, realizing they already did. He says he's sorry. He's drowning. He can't breathe without me. But you know what? I can't breathe with him. Every apology is a stone in my chest. Every I love you feels like a trapdoor. I've gone from wife to hostage in a house haunted by memories I can't trust anymore. And maybe that's what scares me the most. Not the man he's become, but the fact that I almost let him convince me he hadn't changed at all. So yes, there will be a divorce. The locks will change. The lawyer will be informed, and if he ever asks why, I'll tell him. You lost me the night you tried to prove your love with force instead of consent. You lost me the moment you made fear a permanent resident in my home. You didn't just break my heart. You broke the version of me that believed you never would. I used to wonder if I'd survive this. Now I know I will. But he won't be coming with me. Thanks for listening. If you found these stories gripping, there's plenty more where that came from. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss the next twist, turn, or jaw-dropping reveal. More real stories, more drama, and more truth. Coming soon. Stay tuned. Tina leaving the building.